Yes. We are sharing the PPT as well.
Yeah, okay, sure. Go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good morning, my dear friends. You're all the pillars of this nation, what we all are so much believing in. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Your internet connection.
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Yeah. So with a brief introduction, what Mr. Santosh has given, I would like to say that I'm secretary of a college, which is 47, has completed 47 years, and it's College of Excellence, which is an award given by the UGC. And also this college has been for a long-standing institution in research. It has contributed for higher education, especially in developing new knowledge. So with that introduction about our institution, it has been started by a teacher and a scientist. So that's the reason we give a lot of importance for research and science. So with this, I also to add on to this, I'm also in charge as a convener of Indian Science Congress Association. And this association was started in 1914 by two British chemists, actually. But now it is under the, the DST is giving a lot of funds for it. I don't know how many of you all have heard about Indian Science Congress. It's a big organization. There are more than 70,000 members, starting from students to big scientists, Nobel laureates. And every year they conduct these conferences, and these conferences are conducted throughout India. And it is generally, it starts it is started by the Prime Minister. Whoever is the Prime Minister at that time normally starts the conference. So this year it was done in Bangalore, and it was our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji started the conference, and he announced quite a few schemes for young people and young scientists. So I'm also a part of the Indian Science Congress, and Coimbatore chapter was started in 2008. There are about 26 chapters throughout India. And this chapter was started, this is the youngest of the lot. 2008, it was started by Abdul Kalam, our former president of India. So we feel very proud about it. And its main aim is to disseminate science and technology among young people like you, the importance of science education. So with this small note, today's deliberation in a nutshell, I want to say, we are going to look into science education at global level and at Indian context as well. Ancient system of science education, how it was, post-independence, then millennium, when millennium came, probably a lot of y'all were probably born as millennium children who are listening, who are born after 2000 are all millennium kids. And the national, now newly it is emerging, the national education policy, which for the past 1 year, it has been discussed a lot by our government. So apart from all these, let's look into the biggest question mark that has arisen in among all young people is post-COVID. What is it going to happen? How the science education is going to change? So these are all the areas we're going to discuss. And let's see first at a global front. I always like to go into the history of how science has developed globally and nationally in India in the Vedic period, as well as post and pre-independence. Let's see how it has changed. Like when you see Roger Bacon was the first to lay emphasis on value of experiments and inductive inquiry. So later on, Francis Bacon came. He was the one who said science should be part of education. This was all happened in 1500s, 1600s in the Western world. See, now when we always think, now we connect science and development, research and development, you always look upon the West. That is how we were all trained, which is not really true. I'll tell you later why. And then it comes the Royal Society. You probably would have heard about it. A lot of members, all your professors would have become the Royal Society members of various science bodies, which is all centered in Britain. And later came in 17th century, various academias were established. And then comes the industrial revolution. In 18th century, the West was going through a lot of industrial revolution, and that's when research came closer. So with this, then came in 1916, the Thomson Report of Natural Science in Education came. And later on, 20th century is the rapid propagation of science education. Mainly, I would say, our science is all developed to satisfy the greed of human. Don't you think? That's what is happening at the moment. Everything, all the development is for our comfort. Why do we develop science, innovation? All this is mainly to satisfy the human greed. So let's see now the next, how it has gone. This is all in a nutshell I've given you about how it developed in the Western countries. Now, let us see how in pre-independent India, science has developed. It's very interesting. All these were blackout information for young people like you and even me. Like I always looked upon science and research to Western countries. So first of all, who were our scientists? Like how many of you know our sages were the scientists who laid the foundation for the Sanatana Dharma. Our Sanatana Dharma is the way of life, as you all know. It evolves around actually science. And these scientists are all our sages. And how did they develop? It is through Gurukula system. And Gurukula system, we've been talking about it. A lot of people make fun of it even. Oh, Gurukula system, what is a primitive way of learning? No, to be true, actually, when you see in Gurukula system, personalized teaching and holistic education was given. You were not only taught one skill, you were taught many skills, survival skill, and how to survive in nature, how to survive during war, and so many skills, whatever you are fit for. It is not like science was actually not something like, education as such, as a whole, was not given like one shirt that fits for all. Now today, when you go to any commerce or computer science students, what do you see? They are given a particular syllabus. The first day when you enter the class, what does your teacher do? They give, this is the syllabus we are going to follow, and all of you take, this is the reference book, and we are going to study these programs or whatever, and we are going to write exam, and you'll be given awarded results, either your first class, second class, or third class, whatever it may be. So that's how our present education system is going. But like in a Gurukula system, that was not actually done. Each and every student was identified. His strengths and weaknesses were identified, and he was given. A small, I would like to tell you a small incident here. It was about Satyapalagan. Have you heard about Satyapalagan? He went to Gurukula. There were, for that guru, he had about 100 students. And Satyapalagan also was one among them. The guru, identifies him, probably watching him, his love towards animals and cows. He calls Satyapalagan and says, Satyapalaga, I'll give you 100 cows. You take it to the forest and you come back once you have 10,000 cows. So that was what was given to him. So he takes that 100 cows, goes to the forest, and after maybe a couple of years, he comes back with 10,000 cows. And then he asks the teacher, now, am I ready for the Gurukulam? Can you teach me? Can you be my guru and teach me? So immediately, you know what the guru says, the world has taught you. The world has taught you the skill, how to make 100 cows, how he has multiplied to 10,000 cows. That's what is skill development. Like, that is education. The world, our society has taught you. He probably selected the right bull to breed. So that is an education. So this is what is self-sufficiency, and this is a sort of education was given in Gurukula system. And again, it was not a centralized one. It was all decentralized. And also, I would like to insist, the traditions were preserved and it was passed on from each and every child probably to a Gurukula would have come from. They might be a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, a Sudra. All of them would have come to one Gurukula. But they gave importance for their own traditions. So that didn't get destroyed. So today we see so many of our traditions which we have followed are what now is being asked to practice during this COVID period. Isn't it? It's very amazing to see how Indian traditions are a very scientific tradition, science-based traditions. So, also there was a lot of emphasis was given for body and your soul to develop. So this is how our science was in pre-independent India. And very beautifully, our Marie Curie, a great scientist, a physicist, a Nobel laureate, during her acceptance speech, she says, science has great beauty and spiritual strength. That was her statement. So we all knew that our Vedas, during 1,000 years before itself, our Vedic gurus, who are the scientists, knew about it. So that's how science education was in India. And let's go to the next slide. Now, what happened, even though like before British, the British system of education is in India, like probably we were all learning only British system. Like I was born in 1960s. So you imagine, we were still very fond of being slaves to the British system. And so during that, even before British, we had so many people who came and ruled us. But all the early invaders who came, they were only looters. They looted our wealth, destroyed our beautiful temples and our property and our wealth, but they couldn't loot our knowledge. See, I always think only a knowledgeable person can recognize what real knowledge is. So probably the early invaders didn't know the importance about our Vedas and our gurus and our cultural strength, what kept us intact. So what happened, we fought until 1600s. Then came this British, and then the Macaulay who came, and he decided, oh right, we cannot destroy India. Nobody can invade India or take over her entire culture unless we go to the grassroots level. So what is grassroots level? That is the level where when you have to destroy our basic culture, our language, and whatever we evolved to think we are superior, we were made to feel inferior. First and foremost, our mother tongue was made to be felt inferior, and our sacred languages like Sanskrit was not given importance. And people for the past 300, 400 years, we thought, oh, English is supreme and the white people are supreme. So we fell in the trap of supremacy, and we were all trained to be clerks and workers for them. So that's how after 1600, the British system, when the East India Company came, they wanted workers for them. So that's what it happened. And there were so many inspiring scientists. Even with all that suppression, we got so many Nobel laureates like Bose, C.V. Raman, and Ramanuja, if not for, but all these people were recognized by some of the Western educated scientists. So like Ramanuja was recognized by Hardy. And if not for Hardy, like will Ramanuja's talent be recognized? No. And similarly, like we had like people like Rabindranath Tagore, Hargobind Khorana, Chandrasekhar, Subramaniam Chandrasekhar, and so on and so forth. We had Sir C.V. Raman, and now recently it is our Venkatraman Ramakrishnan. And he defies that he doesn't belong, he defies that he's not Indian. Doesn't matter, but it is our Indian gene and Indian brain. And as you know, all our genes have memories. If you're science students, you will know that. So it is the genetic memory, what he has got from his forefathers, probably helped him to win that Nobel Prize. It is a frustration. I don't blame him. A lot of our scientists who are staying abroad are frustrated because the present system didn't allow them to flourish well or bloom well. So that is one of the things which is there among the people who are look forward to go to the West. Now let us see, after independence, what happened in India. That post-independence, so many changes India had to bring about. And in education system, only in 1953, first they decided a secondary education commission was formed. There, science is the basic component of education and culture. That was first introduced. Before that, you know, in education system, if a person is educated, he will know how to read and write, and then how to add and subtract, like, you know, for business purpose. Because he has to do trade, you need to learn to count money and multiply the money. And that sort of system was what they thought. Then later on, they included science as a very basic component, which should be introduced from school level. So then came in 1958, the National Scientific Policy Resolution, which envisaged the cultivation of science and scientific research. They decided it is not enough if we learn the science, but we should get into developing new knowledge. Then came in 1961 under the chairmanship of Lal Bahadur Shastri, a great parliamentarian. He said the scientific committee he set up. And later on came the IITs, and so many noble institutions were all started, IISc, IISER, etc. And now, dear friends, you know what happened after 7 decades. Now, where are we standing? Now we have about, I have given there about more than 40,000 colleges, arts and science colleges have developed, and quite a few IITs, AIIMS, and private deemed to be universities have been started. But one question is there: have India satisfied the needs of our young people, young aspirant people like you who are keen to get into higher education? Have we satisfied? No, not really. Actually, you know, we should have by now attained nearly 50% of our young people should have gone into higher education. But where are we? As you know, it is only 24.5% have gone into higher education. But by 2035, at least, India should go up to that level, where like 50% of them, accessibility to higher education should be the quality higher education. I would say accessibility, affordability, quality, and excellence will be achieved, developed definitely by India. But sometimes I think this is the prediction given. Why should we wait till 2035? You know, now after COVID, there is so many openings are going to come. You probably will be actively following the news. So many industries wants to come to India from China. Apple, for instance, who has a big factory in China, are coming here. And in Germany, so many factories and firms are coming to India. Similarly, Japan wants to come to India. So when all these companies come here, you know what they're looking for? They're looking for excellent skilled workforces. And India should be ready with that skilled workforces, which our Prime Minister's dream is. We want very good skilled workforces. So whether these higher education institutions are sufficient or not, I'm not sure. We need more higher education institutions with quality and excellence. Now, why are we not going, where are we standing, in global ranking? Even our top institutions like IITs in Mumbai, IIT Delhi, Bangalore are not ranking in the top 100. So where are we failing? One thing I will tell you, friends, our scientific research should not have any plagiarism. That's very important. Now that has been addressed by UGC. They say like now plagiarism in all our research publications, they say should be checked for plagiarism. And also our as our United Nations says, it should be sustainable development goals. Education should be a local it should have lifelong, it should not promote just for your job. It should be like lifelong learning opportunities should be given. So that's very important. So also local causes and local issues should be addressed. There are quite a few examples are there, like how the government themselves should sponsor the top creamy layer of scientists, send them to top institutes throughout the world, train them to bring solution for local problem. That will be the best thing that could be done. See, the top creamy layer of our population, the creamy layer of our scientists may not have the affordability to go and learn or get into research, because when you go into research, you need that patience. It is not like in IT sector where immediately you complete your BSc or immediately you get a placement and the young people are satisfied with 20,000-30,000 rupees. That's not what is research. So to sustain a person, a brilliant brain, to go into research, the government should definitely, I would say, create some sort of stipend, which gives them that attraction. The stipend should be attractive, not 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, because that is not attractive. That's why the sad state, even in our own institution, some of the students who study biotechnology, botany, zoology, biochemistry end up in IT sector. That's not what they were trained for. I'm sure all of you also know some such situations are there. And I will tell you, no doubt, this new educational policy in 2019 is the step in the right direction, because ours is the land of where Nalanda and Takshashila was there. So that brains are still here and we have to exploit them. I'm sure this new education policy will quench all your thirst for higher education. The next one. Yeah, and I would like to talk about this new education policy is also has the new National Research Foundation has been developed. And people like us and organizations like us should represent to the government. Like when I said, we should get more research stipend for our young research scholars, so people can get into these research institutes, and also energizing research. To put in a nutshell, it is like research should be energized and also innovation should be done. The next one. So let's see the post-COVID-19. Now let's come, this is all the past we have discussed, and how new national education policy is going to bring about all our dreams to come true. And in between all this, for all the young people, now suddenly this COVID-19 just came out of the blue. And it is, I would say, the younger generation whom we call the Alpha, Generation Alpha, it is going to be only a boom. And when you see, this is, I always insist, there is corporate social responsibility in industries. I'm sure all of you would have heard about it. Banks, industries, all of them have this corporate social responsibility. But what do? They just bring some funds. They say, oh, let's plant tree. They come to institutions and say, oh, we have some X amount of fund and we will like to join in partnership with you. We'll go plant some trees, do some little things. And they just, it's a tick box exercise for them to show that they have spent that amount of money. But that's not the way it should be. See, we as a society or as commoners, common people, cannot insist on industries. I think the government should come here and pressurize these industries and make them to develop an industrial social responsibility. Like, where the industries should come in closely tie up with the institutions. It is a must. Now, I'm sure, like as students, all of you know, we go and adopt villages through Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Now, like most of the higher education institutions, we are adopting villages, and it is insisted by the UGC and MHRD. So, similar thing, before an industry is given a license, this is my thought, they should be given an industrial responsibility. They should tie up, if the industry is engineering oriented industry, they should tie up with an engineering institution. And it should be must that they should have close ties from starting from syllabus to until and training of these students to become apprentice. Similarly, in science, in pharmaceutical industries, all of them should come forward. So that's very important thing. A very good example in Cambridge University. Now, Professor Paul Duprax, a virologist, he has identified to collaborate with a vaccine manufacturing company for developing a vaccine for COVID-19. So this is how our research should, this is the phase when Cambridge, Oxford, and top universities in the world are doing. Now, the world is looking, we have the top brains. And why are we not doing such a thing? This, I think, there is no point in us just speaking like this, but it should get into the policy, government policy. This is what I would like to insist. And we will definitely, as an organization of ABVP, you also should insist and write it to the government. And I, as a running a private college and also a general secretary for all the private college association in Tamil Nadu, I will also take this initiative. So let's all write this to the MHRD. Now, post-COVID, as I said, it's a boon for Gen Alpha, where, and another very important thing, I have noticed in our own institution, we have a lot of pure science degrees in our college, like botany, zoology, these subjects are there. And the sad thing is, I am basically a zoologist, I'm telling you. And when people come to study zoology, we don't get the cream of people to come into it. Hardly 3 or 4 people come with the love to that subject. And even when they come, they are so much discouraged by their parents. They say, like, can I speak in Tamil, Santosh?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, sure. You can speak in both.
Yeah.
Tamil is actually preferred.
Okay, you could have told that to me. But then, என்ன parents சொல்வாங்கன்னா, ஆமா ஜூவாலஜி படிச்சுட்டு நீங்க என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க? என்ன மேக்ஸிமம் ஒரு வாத்தியார் வேலை வாங்க முடியுமா? அந்த மாதிரி தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. But to be true, இன்னைக்கு Botanical Survey of India, Zoological Survey of India, they are lacking taxonomists. அதெல்லாம் ஒரு central government ஓட organization bodies, and they are telling we are so much starved for taxonomists. அதே மாதிரி இன்னைக்கு வந்து நிறைய இன்னொன்னு என்னன்னா, நிறைய நம்ம ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் they develop research scholars. எங்க காலேஜ்லயே நிறைய வந்து PhD scholars are there. They find such excellent, they come out with excellent findings. They say, because we are in Coimbatore is surrounded by Nilgiri mountains, and it's it's high in biodiversity and is the hottest of the hot spots in biodiversity. We have so many plants and animals. So what our scientists do, they get a lot of this exotic plant, like they have these indigenous plants which are so much has medicinal values to it, and they have come up in their laboratory experiments They say they have anti-cancerous property, antiviral property, antibacterial property, and so on and so forth. And I always wonder, okay, now you have found this. Now, where is this going to take you? It's not just they all, after getting their PhD, they find a job and then they forget their research. That's not. As I said, learning should be a continuous process. It cannot be thrown somewhere or dumped because so much resources we have used, so many things we have used. And like, somewhere in some corner, it should not be dumped. This is where the pharmaceutical companies should come closer to us, where they should have, as I said, like industrial tie-up should be so insisted by the government. They should come and adopt the creamy layer of the student should be identified. Okay, this person is the top, he can be a good researcher. The teacher, that is the college management, the teachers, and the industry should identify that X or Y person. So need not be 100 people to be identified. At least 5 or 4 of the brilliant brains should be identified in a class, and completely their stipend should support their lifestyle until they complete their thesis. And now you say our government is giving so much loans for young people with innovative ideas. MHRD is giving now the MSME is giving, and you should exploit that. And for that, for young people, especially maybe if you're city born, you will have the direction. If a person comes from rural area where they are first generation learners, I would say 50% of our students are first generation learners in our college, and they are also people coming from rural villages. So they don't have this idea. So exposing them through innovation cell and all these things would give a good way where our research, science, and should grow. This is what I think. And also we have so many traditional medicines like Ayurveda and Siddha in our country. You know why? Even somebody comes and gives me stating this is this medicine is good for cancer, I will think twice to take it. You may think why? You know what? There is no scientific validation for Ayurveda and Siddha. Even though they cure, unless there is a validation, because we are now a society where we believe in proof. For everything we need a validation and a proof. And if that is lacking, our Ayurveda and Siddha has so many drugs and so many cure, which is probably good for our genetic makeup, because our bodies are used to our drugs, because the drugs what we are taking are mostly done by the Western pharmaceutical industries, where they design it for the West. Most of it is tested to the Western population, and then it comes to us. And as you know, as some of you, if you are geneticists, you will know there is definitely a genetic variation in so many things when you really go into the genome level. So those things should be addressed. And also, there are so many institutions who call themselves as institutions of excellence, but these should not become islands. They should come together and work together. So that's where there should be multidisciplinary, multi-institutional projects should be encouraged. And today, this is today for tomorrow. This is how you're realizing the potential of life sciences. What is it going to happen? Like here, life science companies, you're all mostly talking today about life sciences and how you can engage informed super consumers with appropriate information and service customized to them. Like, as I said, pharma companies are should recognize the digital platforms, mobile apps, webinars, all this, and should take all the information directly to the patients. There are so many things now it can be done. Now, even now, like after post-COVID, one great positive thing has happened is now the Zoom and this, your Google, what do you call it? Google Meet. And all these things have become a part and parcel of our life, even for a generation like me, leave alone people like you who are born in the digital world and you're all millennium children. So for a person who from 1960s, even I am able to do it because necessity is always the like mother of invention. Now necessity has driven us to that end. And some recent success stories, what you would have seen, you know, in Kerala, Sri Chitra's RNA extraction kits in market will be soon. And this has been done by a Kochi-based pharma firm, and it has entered in an agreement with various firms. So, and also, you know that Desi swab kit, I'm sure you're all aware of it. Like all this time, we were importing it from China. Nama China landu vaangittu irundhom. Appo 17 rupees cost la vaanganom. Now, in the swab to test the COVID, now we are producing it for hardly 5 rupees, 2 rupees or 5 rupees or something, they said. So, idalla enna the discovery vandirukuma namakku illa. Unless we were pushed to a corner, and now people have come out with all these things. Even the PPE kit, like, you know, when people in Western countries, they were all struggling because they were waiting to import it from China. We immediately, Namma Tirupurla, Ramaduram Tirupurla, all our textile companies immediately manufactured it for hardly 200, 300 rupees. So we have all the capability, we have all the skill. Now, what direction are we have to take? We have to be really well prepared for the challenges that we are going to have and the opportunities. Opportunities neriya vandittu. Nama prepared illina, what will happen? So that will be a big disappointment. So the companies will not be patient to train you. They want all well-trained people to come and take it. So this is where, like, you know, our industries and educational institutions should come together, and also our scientists should be given, a lot of young scientists like you who want to come in the field of biology should be given a lot of encouragement, I would say. And also, there are a lot of strategies post-COVID for life science education. I have discussed clearly here. There must be a close industry-government collaboration, I told you, like which I already explained to you, how industry and education institutions should come together. And also, we have enough talented people, and how that talent should be harnessed well in a positive way. And courses like biotechnology, microbiology, biochemistry, coupled with basic science should be like botany, zoology, chemistry should become very popular. These subjects should not become isolated niches. They should all come together. And clinical trials and clinical test certificate courses should be also introduced. Today, microbiology and bioinformatics, all these areas will definitely come through a boom. I'm telling you, COVID-19 is not going to be, COVID-19 disappear. In future, such things is going to happen, and how we are going to prepare ourselves. So that's one thing I would like to discuss. And also, all higher education institutions, especially institutions with excellence, should have the Innovation Council should be there, where research, innovation, it should end up in developing a product. Ipo enga college la ikranga. Ipo last time the Innovation Council ella engineering students than ponanga. And enga college physics or paiyan pona. He came up to the top 10. He was selected. So because that, as management, we encouraged him. I gave personally a lot of encouragement, and that boy could succeed up to there. But even for me, I am finding it very difficult to put him to develop a product. See where the hitches. So such hitches should be addressed to. Even now, personally, the 2 years I have followed that student. From the year 1, physics he joined. By year 3, he's developed the product. We sent him to Singapore, Malaysia. We sent him to Delhi. And it was really good. But now, we are unable to do the wheeling dealing with all the industries. என்னை கேட்டா எனக்கும் அந்த knowledge இல்ல. You know, always young people, when you come up with good ideas, the industry is ready to exploit you. Do you understand? They will take up your ideas and then they will come up to the product, and probably hardly you will get that recognition. So other system, how to break, we should really look into it. And also a prototype testing and supporting for product development. இப்ப நீங்க வந்து ஒரு இப்ப நிறைய நம்ம காலேஜ்ல வந்து நிறைய பண்றாங்க. Biochemistry students come up with some products and very interesting things they come out, and how to develop that product into to commercialize them. இது வந்து இது only through institution innovation council பண்ண முடியும். இது வந்து இப்ப நாங்க we are really working on it in our institution with all the industries, local industries. அதே மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து நீங்க wherever you are, you should insist that should be there. And நாமளும் இதுக்கு வந்து government levelல we should give lot of stress to it. Now with this I hope this has answered your questions, or you want me to tell some more, you can ask. Feel free to ask questions. If I can, I will explain to you.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks for the wonderful speech. We got new ideas, and from ABP also, we'll note down all the points you listed, and we will also take this one forward. The thing which you want from us, our side and from the government, you will also take it upwards. And then now, இப்போ நீங்க வந்து உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து யார் யார் question ஒரு order இருக்கு மேம், அந்த orderல they have some questions. They will ask and you just answer it. Sure. Questions வந்து கிறிஸ்பா வச்சுக்கோங்க. Make the question so sharp.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Gokul. My question is, post-COVID updation in syllabus and skills, let require to top opportunities and from the new entrants, because the more than 300 companies from China now enter into India. So how is it possible since students in skills?
Definitely, this is a very good question. Like I've written few things for you. One வந்து first வந்து to trap the opportunities, we should develop our skill. Like you were asking, how are we going to, what type of skills we should develop? ஒன்னு வந்து molecular diagnostics and molecular biology we should develop. அந்த ஏரியால we should develop ஒன்னு. Another thing, medicinal plant research. இன்னைக்கு வந்து world is looking for that. நமக்கு வந்து medicinal plant research, already we have all the basic research done in our country. Now அதையெல்லாம் வந்து நாம வந்து ப்ராடக்ட் டெவலப்மெண்ட், நம்ம பேசியில் சொன்ன மாதிரி நம்ம அதை டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கு ப்ராடக்ட் டெவலப்மெண்ட்டுக்கு கவர்மெண்ட் சப்போர்ட்டோட நம்ம எப்படி பண்ணுவோம், அந்த ஏரியால நீங்க டெவலப் பண்ணீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும் கரிக்குலம். அண்ட் ஆல்சோ நம்ம இண்டிஜினஸ் ஃபுட் ப்ராசஸிங் டெக்னாலஜி. இப்ப பார்த்தோம்னா வெஸ்ட்ல எல்லாம் நிறைய கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல வந்து இந்த கோவிட் வந்ததுனால there was lot of food demand வந்தது. ஆனா நம்ம கண்ட்ரியில வரல இல்லையா? குடிமான வரைக்கும் நமக்கு தான் இலவசமா எல்லாமே கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்களே, நமக்கு இருக்குங்கிறது கொடுக்குறாங்க. ஸோ ஃபுட் வந்து abundance ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆயிருக்குது. இன்க்ளூடிங் இன் பஞ்சாப், they said the wheat production this year was excellent, enormous. ஸோ இந்த ஆனா ஒண்ணு தமிழ்நாட்டை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நான் உங்களுக்கு சொல்ல வந்தது என்ன, even though I'm running an educational institution, my background is I'm from agriculture background. நாங்கெல்லாம் விவசாய பேக்ரவுண்ட். அப்படி இருக்கையில நான் வந்து என்ன, இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எங்க வில்லேஜஸ்ல, I don't know, you also may have background from villages. அதுல வந்து நிறைய இந்த வருஷம் வந்து நிறைய abundant rain இல்லையா? இந்த வருஷம் நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுல வந்து எக்கச்சக்க ரெயின். அப்ப அதனால என்னாச்சு, நமக்கு ஃபுட் ப்ரொடக்ஷன், நமக்கு விவசாயம் ரொம்ப செழிச்சுது. விவசாயம் செழிச்சதுல வந்து இப்ப வந்து ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் லைக் பனானா ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், பனானா ஃபார்மர்ஸ் ரொம்ப சஃபர் பண்ணிட்டாங்க இந்த வருஷம். ஏன்னா இந்த கரெக்டா கோவிட் டைம்ல ஹார்வெஸ்ட்க்கு வந்தது, அதைய ப்ராப்பரா ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம கோல்ட் ஸ்டோரேஜ்ல வச்சு விற்க தெரியல. நீ வந்து ஏன்னா திடீர்னு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்டாக் பண்றதுக்கு நமக்கு ஒரு ஃபெசிலிட்டி இல்லை. ஏன்னா நீ வெஸ்ட் கண்ட்ரிஸ், அதே மாதிரி டொமேட்டோ க்ரோவர்ஸ், ஏன்னா எங்க ஏரியா கோயம்புத்தூர் சுத்தி நிறைய, கோயம்புத்தூர் வந்து ஒரு ஹப் ஆஃப் சுத்தியும் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் அண்ட் அக்ரோ பேஸ்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் as well as textile industries. இது எல்லாம் வந்து இட் இஸ் நர்ச்சரிங். அப்படி இங்க வந்து நிறைய பீப்புள் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர். இந்த வருஷம் மேங்கோ, நீங்க சேலம்ல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா மேங்கோஸ் எக்கச்சக்கம். ஆனா நம்ம மேங்கோஸ்க்கு கரெக்டான பிரைஸ் கிடைக்கல. for agriculturists, I'm telling. I don't know about the consumers. Probably you consumers, some of the city consumers were charged more. இல்லையா? ஆனா நம்ம அக்ரிகல்ச்சரிஸ்ட்க்கு இது கிடைக்கல. அதனால நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம்னா இந்தியால ஃபுட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி சயின்டிஸ்ட் தான் அதை பண்ண முடியும். ஃபுட் ப்ரிசர்வேஷன், பயோடெக்னாலஜிஸ்ட் பண்றீங்க இல்லையா? ஃபுட் ப்ரிசர்வேஷன், ஃபுட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, ஸ்டோரேஜ், இது எல்லாம் நிறைய இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணணும். இப்ப நம்ம பிரசன்ட்லி நம்ம நிறைய ஒரு 20,000 crores வந்து அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணல, நிறைய அக்ரிகல்ச்சரிஸ்ட் கொடுக்குறாங்க. என் மனசுல என்னன்னா இந்த அக்ரிகல்ச்சருக்கு 1000 ரூபாய் கொடுக்கறது, 5000 ரூபாய் கொடுக்கறதெல்லாம் எனக்கு விருப்பமே இல்லை. நீங்க அதை அக்ரி பண்றீங்களா என்னன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. ஏன்னா நம்ம அதுக்கு பதிலா ஒவ்வொரு பஞ்சாயத்தா whatever அந்த ஏரியாவில் கோல்ட் ஸ்டோரேஜ் கட்டி கொடு, கவர்மெண்டே கட்டி கொடுங்க, ஒரு சப்சிடைஸ் பிரைஸ்ல கொடுங்க. எனக்கு 6000 5000 கொடுக்கறது வந்து அவன் போய் இன்னைக்கு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் எங்க போய் விடுறாங்க, டாஸ்மாக்ல தான் விடுறாங்க இல்ல நிறைய. சோ டாஸ்மாக் கடையில பண்றாங்க, அது வந்து தப்பு. பணத்தை கொடுக்காம நம்மள do not make I would say do not make my countrymen as beggars. We want to be entrepreneurs இல்லையா? நம்மளுக்கு வந்து நீ எனக்கு வசதிகளை பண்ணி கொடு, எனக்கு தண்ணியை பண்ணி டேம் கட்டி கொடு, இரிகேஷன் பண்ணி கொடு, விவசாயிக்கு அதுதான் வேணும். அதுல வந்து நம்ம ஆஸ் சயின்ஸ் பேஸ்ட் பீப்புள் நீங்க எப்படி அதுல கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுவீங்கன்னா இந்த ஃபுட் டெக்னாலஜி டெவலப்மெண்ட், இண்டிஜினஸ் ஃபுட் ப்ராசஸிங் டெக்னாலஜியை நல்லா டெவலப் பண்ணலாம். Phytochemistry will become a very big thing, and skill and artificial intelligence, machine learning, genomics will come up. Computational biology, bioinformatics is going to be another area where it has to will develop. And this is very interesting. Pharmacogenetics and pharmacogenomics and pharmacovigilance. இது வந்து கண்டிப்பா it is going to be the next future. நம்ம எப்படி ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ்ல சொன்னாங்க computer is going to rule the world, அதே மாதிரி அடுத்தது இந்த pharmacogenetics அப்படின்னா என்னன்னா நம்ம ஜெனட்டிக் மேக்கப்க்கு பர்சனலைஸ் ட்ரக்ஸ் கிரியேட் பண்றதா pharmacogenetics. So இதே டெவலப் பண்ணோம், இந்த ஏரியா will be developed. There are doing, and basic science students, life science students are getting, there are examples from our own institution and from Coimbatore area. Some of the students are getting about 1 lakh per year in some companies. I don't have that listed companies here, but I could give you. And pharmacogenomics என்னன்னா நாம வந்து நம்ம ட்ரக் மெட்டபலைஸ் ஆகிற விதம், நம்ம ட்ரக்ஸ் எல்லாம் whatever you take, how that process, the pathway of these drugs, அதே படிக்கிறது தான் நமக்கு வந்து pharmacogenomics. And pharmacovigilance, this is very important. You know what? Drug companies வந்து புது drugs create பண்ணுவாங்க, அதே நம்ம மேல டெஸ்ட் ட்ரக்கா வச்சிடக்கூடாது இல்லையா? So that pharmacogenomics அது டெவலப் பண்றது இது வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். It is like policing the it is literally நாம வந்து அவங்கள police பண்றோம். நீ வந்து திருட்டுத்தனமா மக்கள் மேல இந்த ட்ரக்ஸை யூஸ் பண்ணிடாத அப்படின்னு, அதுதான் அந்த pharmaco what you call that vigilance. So that's very important. And also the basics of viral biology and special emphasis on animal viral biology will be developed. Innovation, entrepreneurship options like from farm to products will develop. And நமக்கு வந்து இந்த cooperative farming will be a big thing now. அதுவும் டெவலப் ஆகும். ஏன்னா கோஆபரேட்டிவ் ஃபார்மிங் வந்தா தான் இந்த ஒரு அக்ரோ பேஸ்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி போட்டு ஒரு ஏரியா வைஸ் இது வந்து ஒன்லி டொமேட்டோ க்ரோவர்ஸ், இங்க ஒன்லி சுகர் கேன் க்ரோவர்ஸ் அப்படின்னு வச்சு அந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி டெவலப் ஆகும். ஸோ அக்கார்டிங்லி that should be done. And also I would like to say the 4 I's, what is going to come up. One is you have to like the curriculum should be like it should inspire people and ideate it and innovate, and we should incubate. So these are the 4 I's, and this should be developed. And the another thing is the teaching, the pedagogy also should change இல்லையா? நம்ம அதே இப்ப எங்களாட்ட இருக்கிறவங்களே டீச் பண்ண அவங்களுக்கு பிடிக்குமா? நாங்க அதே மாதிரி அந்த பழைய சாக் அண்ட் டாக் மெத்தட்ல தான் வச்சுட்டு பண்ணிட்டு இருப்போம் இல்லையா? People in their 50s and 40s and 50s, they have to change their teaching pedagogy. How is it going to be? That should be more of blended virtual as well as physical lab sessions இருக்கணும். Completely எல்லாமே virtual இருக்க முடியாது. நமக்கு வந்து everywhere there is touch and feel is there. Yeah. So that should be that. It should be blended. And cooperative learning. அப்படின்னா நீங்க கோஆபரேட்டிவ் லேர்னிங்னா என்ன? நம்ம குரூப் ஸ்டடின்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? அப்படி இல்லை. நான் அந்த மாதிரி குரூப் ஸ்டடி இல்லை. எல்லாரும் 10 பேர் உட்காந்துட்டு அந்த ஒரு சப்ஜெக்ட மனப்பாடம் பண்ணி ஒண்ணுக்கு ஒண்ணு சொல்லி கொடுக்கறது, அந்த குரூப் ஸ்டடி இல்லை. ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் will be given and all of you guys should come up with a like one person will come up with a methodology and one person will come up with sample taking. நான் சும்மா ஒரு சயின்ஸ்ல வச்சு சொல்றேன்னு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு like one person should teach what method we can follow, the methodology of it, the research, where can we take the sample and what can be done, what sort of experiments could be done, what sort of animal or tissues can be selected, and the madri for andamara group studies. So all of you sit together, come up, build your ideas and come out with the solution. That sort of group study should be developed, and that is what you call that a cooperative learning. Now you have all heard about brainstorming. அப்படி சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா? இப்ப நம்ம காலேஜஸ்ல எல்லாம் காமனா யூஸ் பண்ற வேர்ட் brainstorming session. Now it is going to be brain writing for idea generation. You know what is brain writing? It is very interesting. When even for me it was something new. நீங்க இத கேட்டதனால நானும் படிச்சு நிறைய தெரிஞ்சிட்டேன். இந்த brain writing னா என்ன? Like 6 minutes ஒரு குரூப், ஒரு கிளாஸ்ல 30 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். அந்த 30 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு like an idea would be given. So this idea 6 minutes we will give 6 group of students, 6 students in each group, and 6 solutions you should come out with. ஒரு question கேட்டோம்னா, இப்ப நீங்க என்ன question கேக்குறீங்க, அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க உங்க கிளாஸ்ல ஒருத்தர் question கேட்டாங்கன்னா உங்க டீச்சர், that's how your teachers, your new generation, alpha generation teachers are going to be like that. And also like you people probably will be the ones teaching the alpha generation. So நீங்க எப்படி டீச் பண்ணணும்னா அந்த மாதிரி தான், make them think. அந்த ரொம்ப நேரம் கொடுக்க கூடாது. 6 minutes, 6 groups and 6 ideas. That is what is called brain writing. So that sort of things should be introduced. And also jigsaw for research. That's what you call like lot of interchange of ideas. இப்போ உங்களை எல்லாம் ஒரு பேனல்ல உட்கார வைக்கிறீங்கல்ல, இப்போ உட்காந்துட்டு உங்க ஐடியாஸை நீங்க இன்டர்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணுங்க. ஓகே, வாட் லைக் இப்ப நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணணும் ஒரு இது வச்சு நீங்க இது this is practical. Whatever I said may not be practical sometimes, but like நீங்க சொல்லலாம், நீங்க you will come up with something new. இந்த idea is practical, I can come up with this idea. நீங்களே ஒரு ரிசர்ச் பேனல் உட்கார்ந்து you come up and the outcome you come. இது என்ன ஆகும், யங் பீப்புளுக்கு அந்த டிபேட்டிங் ஸ்கில்ல இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணும். See, this is how the new pedagogy should go. So நம்ம சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த கரிக்குலம் ஸ்கில் இதெல்லாம் this is the way it should develop. So has it satisfied your has my answer satisfied your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, any questions?
I have a question regarding this artificial intelligence. They say the next decade is going to be for artificial intelligence, and then there is a problem that we will even lose jobs. Not only we will get the new opportunities, but we might even lose existing jobs. So to get into certain to overcome artificial intelligence, it is said that our brain should be more than what computer thinks. We should work more than the machine. So do you think the existing syllabus, the existing curriculum is according to this? Even the NEP, whether the NEP has addressed this issue, and will it make our students more powerful?
See, the artificial intelligence always like machine thinking and human thinking is different. நமக்கு ஒரு intuitive thinking ஒன்னு இருக்கு தெரியுமா? Like intuitive mind. We are only giving, this is what Einstein says, like our human beings are not giving importance for the intuitive mind at present. We are giving for the lot of importance for the logical mind. Do you understand? So this is where our great thinkers comes into picture. Number Indian way of learning, we have lot of intuitive learning. நம்ம intuition நம்பி நம்ம நிறைய பண்ணுவோம் நம்ம learning. That's how it's going to be. Just because artificial intelligence is going to come and take over the rest of the thing is not that you people are going to lose your job or anything. நமக்கு அதனாலதான் நம்ம சொல்றோம் ஸ்கில் டெவலப்மெண்ட் பண்ணு. சேஞ்சிங், யூ ஷுட் சேஞ்ச் அக்கார்டிங்லி. லேர்னிங் இஸ் அ லைஃப் லாங் ப்ராசஸ். நீ அதோட நிக்க வச்சுக்காத. நீ இன்னைக்கு வந்து பிஎஸ்சி கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ், ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வாட்ஸ், ஐ அம் நாட் a big thing in computer. அந்த சாஃப்ட்வேர் ஒன்னு படிக்கிற, இது இது இதுதான் நான் படிச்சிருக்கேன், இந்த இதுல நான் am an expert. But when a new thing like comes, I shouldn't be rigid. I should change according to the changing times. So that I have personally experienced. I'll tell you how. I worked in 1980 in USA in one of the laboratories called Bellsfield Agriculture Research Center. Anga vandu very interesting thing is appo that scientist Borkovic na peru, he is no more, but he said he is basically a chemist who has turned completely into a biologist, totally into insects, developing like biological control for insects. அந்த மாதிரி ஏரியால வந்துட்டாரு. நான் you're a basic chemist, நீங்க எப்படி, how did you change like this அப்படின்னா, because at once after American education system நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா higher education generally one of the they change accordingly. இப்ப நீங்க நானே ஒரு zoology படிச்சிட்டு நிறைய பேர் I know people like who are now in their age of 50s and 60s, they base biotechnology or bioinformatics was not an area. When I studied computer, I have never seen. See, 1970s, where on earth did we see computer? But like it is ever changing time. You change, you learn. Didn't we learn now in the COVID? Nal naane learn pannita. Neengala young brains, you will learn. You will learn, you will train yourself, and for artificial intelligence andalum enna edha andalum pannuvinga, adoda nikku poradilla. So many new things are going to come up, so you will definitely learn these new skills. So namma vandu lifelong learning nama sonnadhu modalla, that we should adopt. So that's very important. Thank you.
நம்ம தமிழ்ல ஒரு சேயிங் கூட இருக்கு, மாற்றம் ஒன்றே மாறாதது. அது மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து நம்ம மாற்றத்துக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து நம்மள
மாத்திக்கணும் இல்லையா? அத வந்து நான் நிறைய இதுல சொல்லுவேன். நான் வந்து in always நம்ம ட்ரெஸ்ல இருந்து நம்ம அந்த இடத்துக்கு அடாப்ட் ஆயிக்கணும். adapting human, we will adapt. நாம இப்ப இந்த கோவிட்ல வீட்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வீக் நீங்க எல்லாம் சொல்லுங்க தம்பி, ஒரு வாரம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வீக் எனக்கு என்ன அப்படியே எங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம்னு ஆயிட்டு. Then we create a system. Okay, this is not going to be 1 week, this is going to be 6 weeks. இப்ப நான் என் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிடுறோம் இல்லையா? For good, I feel now for good I have changed my lifestyle. So அந்த மாதிரி our system naturally, human all living creatures for that matter will adapt easily, and young people adaptation is so in a higher way. You have the potential to adapt, so definitely we will adapt. Thank you.
Next two questions, next two panelists are there, they will ask one more question. Ilangon, please just unmute your audio.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Happy to hear your wonderful speech. So I have a question. Few days back, our Honorable Finance Minister allowed a public-private partnership. Okay. So இது வந்து science students வந்து எந்த மாதிரி ஒரு opportunity வந்து create பண்ணும் மேடம்? So
அதாங்க நான் சொன்னேன், பப்ளிக் பிரைவேட் இதுதான் நான் ஒன்னு சொன்னேன் இல்லையா? இண்டஸ்ட்ரியும் இப்ப நம்ம எல்லாம் வந்து இப்ப நீங்க ஒரு எஜுகேஷன் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் படிக்கல, என்எஸ்எஸ் ஒண்ணு பண்ணிருப்போம் இல்லையா? நேஷனல் சோசியல் சர்வீஸ் கம்பல்சரி இல்ல, என்சிசி போகணும் இல்ல என்எஸ்எஸ் போகணும் பண்ணிருக்கோம். இங்கதான் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி கனெக்ட் வருது. அதைதான் நான் சொல்றேன், கவர்மெண்ட் ஒரு பாலிசியா கொண்டு வரணும். கார்பரேட் சோசியல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டின்னு வச்சாங்க இல்லையா? அது இல்லாம நமக்கு வந்து இண்டஸ்ட்ரி சோசியல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டின்னு கொண்டு வா. அப்ப இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஒரு இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் அடாப்ட் பண்ணட்டும், ஒரு டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டை. இப்ப நீங்க பயோகெமிஸ்ட்ரி படிக்கிறீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், பக்கத்துல பார்மசூட்டிக்கல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி அடாப்ட் பண்ணட்டும், அதுல கிரீம் ஆஃப் த ஸ்டூடெண்ட் எடுக்கட்டும் இல்லையா? அண்ட் கிவ் யூ லைக் ஸ்டைஃபண்ட் கொடுக்கறத விட நான் அதான் சொன்னேன், சும்மா 1000-2000 எல்லாம் ஸ்டைஃபண்ட் கொடுக்க கூடாது. அந்த கோர்ஸ்க்கு அட்ராக்ஷன் இல்ல. ஒரு வெரி அட்ராக்டிவ் ஸ்டைஃபண்ட் கொடுத்தா தான் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வருவாங்க. இப்ப நானே சொல்லுவேன், அப்பா நீ பொறுமையா இரு, ஐடி காரன் இன்னைக்கு 30,000 வாங்குறான், நீ பொறுமையா இருந்து ரிசர்ச்ல பண்ணினா யூ வில் அட்டைன் ரியலி சம்திங் டு தி சொசைட்டி. அந்த தாட் வரணும். நம்ம வந்து எல்லாமே மெட்டீரியலிஸ்டிக்கா மணி வைஸா கால்குலேட் பண்ணிட்டே போக முடியாது. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் மணி இஸ் நெசசரி ஃபார் லைஃப், பட் இருந்தாலும் நமக்கு வந்து இதுவும் லைக் நம்ம சொசைட்டிக்கு எண்ட் ஆஃப் த டே நம்ம இந்த சமுதாயத்துக்கு நம்ம என்ன கொடுத்தோம், சமுதாயம் நமக்கு கொடுக்கிறது. ஆனா நம்ம வந்து இந்த சமுதாயத்துக்கு ஏதோ ஒன்று கொடுக்கணும். இப்ப நான் நினைப்பத நான் வந்து இந்த மை ஓன் வே ஐ வில் திங்க் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் சமுதாயத்துக்கு நான் ஏதோ ஒன்று பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா whatever however educated whatever like I am, I don't like to let down my basic roots. That's what I think. அந்த மாதிரி நீங்களும் நம்ம வந்து நீங்க கேட்ட கேள்வி வந்து இண்டஸ்ட்ரியும் இதுவும் இப்ப வந்து நிறைய நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா MOU போடுவாங்க எல்லா காலேஜஸ்ல. இந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டி இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியோட நம்ம MOU அது இதுன்னு போடுவாங்க. ஆனா அந்த அவுட்கம் என்ன? அவன் சும்மா ஒரு நாள் வந்து உட்கார்ந்து அந்த சிலபஸ் ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணில வந்து இதெல்லாம் போடுங்கம்பா. அப்ப நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பாஸ் ஆகி வெளியில போகல அந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்க்கு அவன் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில எடுத்துக்குவானா? ட்ரைனிங் இல்லாம எடுப்பானா? எடுக்க மாட்டான். இது நான் என்ற அனுபவத்துல சொல்றேன். எங்க பயோகெமிஸ்ட்ரி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு பயோகெமிஸ்ட்ரி லேபோட நாங்க வந்து ஒரு டைப் வச்சோம். அவன் வந்து ஒரு சிலபஸ் ஃப்ரேம் எல்லாம் வாங்க, நீங்க எங்களுக்கு வந்து எங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு நீங்க ஜாப் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கூப்பிட்டோம். அப்ப என்னாச்சு, அவன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்க்கெல்லாம் வந்து அவங்க எல்லாம் சிலபஸ் எல்லாம் ஃப்ரேம். பை த டைம் தே எண்டட் அப் இன் தேர்ட் இயர் he said no, அது பத்தாதுங்க, இது வந்து அவங்கள மறுபடியும் நாங்க ட்ரெயின் பண்ணணும். ஸோ அந்த கான்ஸ்டன்ட் அவங்களோட இன்வால்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி என்னைக்கு வரும்? நீ எதுவுமே நம்ம ஊர்ல வந்து கம்பல் பண்ணாதான் வரும் இல்லையா? நம்ம ஊர்ல நீ இண்டஸ்ட்ரியலிஸ்ட வந்து நீ காலேஜுக்கு வந்து ஸ்பான்சர் பண்ணா பண்ணுவாங்களா? பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. அதான் கார்பரேட் சோசியல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி நான் முதல்லயே சொன்னேன். அவன் எங்கேயோ 2 மரத்தை வச்சுக்கிட்டு, எனக்கு தெரியும் எங்க காலேஜ்ல இருக்கிற அந்த இருக்கிற பேங்க்காரனே வருவான் என்கிட்ட வந்துட்டு, என்னம்பா மேடம் நீங்க எனக்கு ஒரு உங்க NSSல ஒரு சும்மா ஒரு இது கொடுங்க, நாங்க ஒரு 100 மரத்தை வச்சு கொடுக்குறோம் அப்படிம்பாங்க. அது வந்து அதை வச்சதோட ஓடிடுவாங்க. அவங்க அந்த பணத்தை செலவு பண்ணி காட்டணும், அவ்வளவுதான். அதுதான் கார்பரேட் சோசியல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. I'm not telling all of them have that. There are some industries like they're doing a wonderful job, but like majority of them I'm telling. So அவங்களையெல்லாம் நீ என்ன பண்ணணும்? டை அப் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? எப்படி நீ உனக்கு இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கே நான் லைசன்ஸ் அப்பதான் கொடுப்பேன். இந்த பிரைவேட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு கவர்மெண்ட் சொல்ல நீ எந்த காலேஜோட டை அப் பண்ணிக்கிற, உன்ற அவுட்கம் என்ன? இப்ப நம்மள கேக்குறாங்க இல்லையா, எஜுகேஷன் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷனை கேக்குறாங்க, நீ என்ன வாட் இஸ் யுவர் அவுட்கம்? NIRF ரேங்கிங்ல கேக்குறாங்க, நம்ம NAC ஸ்கோர்ல கேக்குறாங்க, என்ன அவுட்கம், நீ என்ன அவுட்கம் கொண்டு வந்திருக்கேன்னு கேக்குறாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி அவங்களுக்கும் அதை பண்ணணும். அப்ப நம்ம நினைக்கிற மாதிரி we can bring the private institution and public நம்ம colleges, education institutions, you have to bring it more closer and then right.
Thank you.
Any more question?
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. This is Niveda. Ma'am, my question is about the change of streams currently. By seeing the hardships and difficulties faced by the doctors and nurses now during this pandemic, many parents are wishing to what currently the students are pursuing for NEET, but now they're asking them to drop that plan.
Oh, so that is wrong. See, shall I tell you one thing? My son itself is working in the front line. And like any parent, when I first heard, நான் இதான் சொன்னேன், ஐயோ கண்ணா நீ வந்து ஃப்ரண்ட் லைன்ல நீ போட்டிருக்காங்களே அப்படின்னு ஒரு கொஸ்டின் எனக்கு கேட்டான். இன்னைக்கு நீங்க அதை கேளுங்க உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட. மா நீங்க வந்து வாருக்கு போனா நம்ம வந்து ஆர்மியில சேர்ந்தா நம்ம வார் வந்துச்சுன்னா இல்ல என் பையனை வீட்டுக்கு கொடுன்னு சொல்லுவோமா? மாட்டோம்ல. அதேதான் என் பையன் he asked, I couldn't answer. I said, கண்ணா நீ பத்திரம் 1 week தான் நீ வேலை பண்ண சொல்லுவாங்களா? இது எல்லா பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இருக்கிறது. நானே சொல்றேன், எல்லாரும் பிலாசபி பேசுவோம். அவன் குழந்தைன்னு வந்தா you want to protect, but it's your left you. இது லட்சியம் எனக்கு. நீங்க உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு என்ன சொல்லணும்? இது என்னோட லட்சியம். என் பையன் அதை தான் சொன்னான், நீ டாக்டரா தான் நீ என்னமா பண்ணுவ? நான் சொன்னேன், நான் கண்டிப்பா வேலை பண்ணுவேன், கண்டிப்பா. ஏன்னா அந்த தொழிலோட நம்ம சத்திய பிரமாணம் எடுக்கிறோம் இல்லையா, லைக் எவ்ரி திங் யூ டேக் அன் ஓத். அந்த ஓத் எடுக்கையில என்ன அவங்க எடுக்கிறாங்கன்னா, என்ன ஒரு கண்டிஷனுக்கும் நான் வந்து ஒரு உயிரை காப்பாத்துவேன் அப்படின்னு எடுப்பாங்க. அது பெரிய இதா இருக்கும். பட் லைக் ஐம் ஜஸ்ட் டெல்லிங் யூ இன் a small way. அப்ப he asked me, அப்படி நான் ஒரு oath எடுத்துட்டு, do you think I should stick on to that oath or tell something and escape and come? I said, no, you better stick on to the oath. அது வந்து கடவுள் நம்மளுக்கு எப்பவுமே அது இருக்கு இல்லையா? நம்ம always we believe in that supreme thing. If that supreme being will protect us. For that, you take the proper protection kit and everything. And அதுக்காக அப்புறம் நாளைக்கு டாக்டர்ஸே இல்லாம போயிட்டா என்ன பண்றது சொல்லு பார்க்கலாம். டாக்டர் தொழில்ங்கிறது it is not like that. I'm telling you, except me, in my family, everybody is a doctor. My husband is a doctor. My son is a doctor. My daughter is studying to be a doctor. So all of them are now, my husband is working. My son is in frontline working in a COVID ward for the past 1.5 months. And so I have like என்னங்கிறது அந்த ஃபியர்லாம் எனக்கு இல்லை. அது மாதிரி நீங்க உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் நீங்க கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ணணும். என் பையன் என்னை கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ணி போட்டான். லைக் நான் ரொம்ப சொல்லல, லைக் பட் ஐ செட் லைக் சொல்லணும், இது என்னோட லட்சியம். நான் அந்த நீட்ல பாஸ் பண்ணி நான் இதை போனேன்னா நான் வந்து இது வந்து என்னோட ஒரு பேஷன் இல்லையா? எதுவுமே நம்ம வந்து ஒரு பேஷனட்டா ஒண்ணு பண்ணல, அதைய வந்து நம்ம we should fight to strive and convince our parents. நம்ம இந்தியால எப்படின்னா நம்ம வந்து we are dependent on our parents இல்லையா? நம்ம financially we are so dependent. இப்போ வெஸ்டர்ன் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல எல்லாம் அப்படி இல்லை. அவங்க வந்து பை 18 வயசு அவங்க வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் லோனை கொடுத்துருமா, பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஓகே லைக் ஓகே ஒன்லி லைக் பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து அவன் என்ன கரியர் பர்சியூ பண்றானோ அதான் பண்ணுவான். ஆனா நம்ம அப்படி இல்லை இல்லையா? நம்ம வந்து எவ்ரி ஸ்டெப் we have to depend on our parents. So நம்ம வந்து we have to convince them. ஆமா உனக்கே அப்படி நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் யாராவது சொன்னாங்கன்னா நம்ம வீட்லயே நமக்கே ஒண்ணு அந்த மாதிரி வந்தா நாம ஒரு டாக்டர் கிட்ட தானே போறோம். அப்ப அந்த டாக்டர் ஒரு தியாகம் செய்யறாங்க இல்லையா? டாக்டரோ நர்ஸோ எல்லாம் அவங்க தியாகம் செய்யறதுனால தானே நாம இன்னைக்கு ஹெல்த்தியா இருக்க முடியுது. இன்னைக்கு நம்மளே இந்த கோவிட்ல பாக்குற எவ்வளவு பேர் நம்ம கியூர் ஆகி வர்றாங்க இல்லையா? The figure in India, the amount of people are getting cured is more when compared to the rest of the world. So we are doing something right, and our doctors are doing something right, or maybe our immune system is doing right, or I would say what our genes are doing right, our genetics, our genetic makeup, and our food habits. இல்லையா? நம்மளோட பர்சனல் ஹேபிட்ஸே நம்ம டெய்லி குளிக்கிற ஆளுங்க இல்லையா? நான் ஒரு குலோக்கியலா சொன்னோம்னா நம்ம வந்து டாய்லெட் டிஷ்யூ பேப்பர் யூஸ் பண்ற ஆளுகள்ல நாம எல்லாமே வாஷிங் டெய்லி வாஷ் பண்ணி கிளீனா இருக்கிற ஒரு நம்மளோட வே ஆஃப் லிவிங் இஸ் லைக் தட். வெரி ரேர்லி பீப்புள் டோன்ட் வேக் அப் இன் த மார்னிங் அண்ட் கோ டு ஒர்க் வித்வுட் ஹேவிங் அ பாத் இல்லையா? ஸோ தட்ஸ் வாட் லைக் that's how you should convince your parents. You should say convince them, and then you should say like நமக்கே அந்த ஃபேமிலியில் ஒருத்தருக்கு வந்தா யாருமா நம்மளை காப்பாத்துவா, யாருங்கப்பா நம்மளை காப்பாத்துவான்னு சொன்னா definitely they will succumb to your pressure. I think நிவேதாவா எனக்கு reminded of Nivedita. You heard about Nivedita, right? Yeah. So நிவேதிதா வந்துதான் நமக்கு விமென்க்கு வந்து ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு மாற்றத்தை நம்ம அடிமையான இந்தியால இருந்தப்ப கொண்டு வந்தவங்க. அந்த நிவேதிதா பெயர் வச்சுட்டு நீங்க வந்து you can bring about change. You can bring about the change if you want to. Thank you.
From ABVP, we just want to thank the warriors in your family, ma'am, who are just fighting for us.
Thank you.
We even took the initiative of in Twitter and social media regarding thank you warriors. We just trended it a day long in social media.
I think I saw that somewhere. Thank you.
Then thanks, ma'am. The speech was really enlightening, and we learned a lot. And even the one who are watching in Facebook would have learned a lot. And then you take all your suggestions, and we would even pass. Since we are the world's largest student organization, we can comprehend all such things, and we can even raise these issues to the people concerned. Okay, thanks. If you want to give us some guidance at the last, you can just end it.
That's fine. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to interact with few of you. I'm sure in Facebook quite a few people are going to have a look, and I appreciate all the comments, whether it's positive or negative. Like as I always think like young people are the source of inspiration for me. That's one of the reason I like to come to college. The main reason is to be with the youngsters really is a big boost in my ATP, I would say. Thank you. Thank you.
நீங்க end பண்ணிடலாம். உங்க சைடுல இருந்து நீங்க end பண்ணிடலாம். You can just end the meeting.
Okay, please. Can you do that for me?
Thank you, Mr. Santosh.
Okay.
He is
You
our
have to
Dean
just-
Academics. One day you
Hello.
can call him Santosh to give a talk. He is
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you regarding this, how you're putting Zoom ல இருந்து எப்படி Facebook live பண்றீங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியணும்.
Let me tell a small brief note about our Madan Shankar. He is alumni of our college and a biotechnologist, and he is an SSUN. He is an SSUN with another. I think there is another person called
Santosh.
Santosh in SSUN.
Dr. Santosh.
I actually got confused
Dr.
with
Santosh.
Dr. Santosh. So I thought it's the same person, Santosh. And so you should once ask him. He gives beautiful talks. And in fact, like, we had a series of session as a faculty development program for our teachers. And that will be of great use. If you have time, you can listen. It is
We have
recorded.
those recordings.
We got the recordings. It is about
Panchbhuta concept.
Panchabhuta, based on Panchabhuta concepts. We have kept, it's a nice program. And we got 5 experts, 6 of them who spoke on this. And it's very thought-provoking session. And you can listen because it's a recorded one. And also
It is
you
there
can
on
one day
Facebook.
ask our Madan to speak to your youngsters.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Santosh.
Those recordings are available on SSUN web page, Facebook page.
Okay, sure. We will see. So you can just end the live from it.
Yeah, just a moment. I'll stop recording and see where it is storing, and then I'll disconnect.
Okay, sure.
Because Zoom will